Hey YouTube, Brennan here with Two Dudes One Dredge, and we are following up on our motor maintenance Monday, and we're going to be upgrading this motor with a very fancy schmancy looking DWX heat exchanger for a hot water system. We've been running dry suits this whole time, and everybody's talking about switching over to a wetsuit system. Keep your core hotter, be able to work shifts a little bit longer, stay down on the gold, and we like that. So we're gonna try it out. Gonna take off the exhaust and all that stuff and follow the directions and get this thing bolted on. This guy's a crazy fabricator, and we'll explain it as we're kind of building it, but we'll tag him as well and go show him some love. These things are apparently real awesome. All the reviews we've heard are great, and hashtag not sponsored. We bought this thing with our own money, and we're gonna bolt it on and give it a try. All right, guys, James is finally back from the hardware store. Somebody forgot the Loctite for the bolts, so we're gonna get the exhaust unbolted and get started putting this thing on.
Can you cut that?
I sure can, yeah.
All right.
All right.
Don't cut yourself.
I'll try.
All right.
So we got 12 mil nuts on the exhaust studs that we got to get off.
Yeah, we got to take those nuts off, and then the bracket there off too.
Yeah, sweet. It's a different bolt size, of course.
Well, be consistent in your inconsistency, right?
Yeah. Why not?
So I did buy a nice little socket set for this quarter inch drive, but then got home and realized that because it's a Honda, everything's metric on it, like the rest of the world. So we'll be using some wrenches.
Good old box wrenches.
Yeah,
Why not? Nothing fancy.
that's right. So you're gonna take that off, and then we'll put the blue Loctite on the studs and install the new exhaust manifold. I'll get the gasket out.
Yeah. So what are the specs on this thing? Like how hot's the water supposed to get? And
Yeah, so it's got a the big concern with these hot water systems is that you run the risk of.
that's nice and cruddy there.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Real nice.
You run the risk of the hot water flashing to steam if you have any sort of like blockage in the line, or for whatever reason. There could be a number of different reasons. Your line gets kinked, your foot valve gets plugged, but whatever the cause is, the result is that the water flow stops pumping into the heat exchanger, the steady flow from the river, and it can flash to steam. One of the ways to avoid getting burned, which is something that has happened to people and it's terrible, is to put a mixing tank on the system, and that's what some guys that we're friends with down in New Zealand do, and some other guys. They'll put a mixing tank, so the water from the heat exchanger goes into a mixing tank. The intake, the inflow of water is at the top of the tank. The out to your suit is at the bottom, and that prevents, a sudden flashing to steam that immediately transfers to the diver, burning him and ruining his day and possibly his life, which we don't want. But what Daniel Wilcox over at DWX has done is, on the side of this here, he has installed a 140 degree blow off valve. So if that water reaches 140 degrees or more, that will blow off. This is going to spin around. So this is yeah,
not pointing the correct direction.
There you go.
All right.
Okay.
Like that. And
Yeah.
then I assume this bolts
Yeah, that's correct.
down here.
As I understand it. So we're going to put Loctite on the
Threads.
on the threads.
Okay. I'm gonna dab them up before I get this thing in position. Is it a like glob it on, or like a little dab will do you kind of situation?
I believe it's a little dab, and then it chases down the threads.
Sure, as the nut goes back on.
Yep. I'm not a mechanic, so...
Neither of us are mechanics. We're just...
Yep, so I'm sure
figuring it
that
out.
everybody can see that, as all the guys watching this video have more experience with all of this than we do, and they're, let us know what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong.
Oh, they will. I'm sure they will.
Here.
We got fresh nuts?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, Daniel Wilcox at DWX has put that blow-off valve, and he says that you don't have to run a mixing tank if you don't want to. Now, if you take that blow-off valve off because you aren't convinced that's the way to go, that's something you can do. But we're going to go ahead and leave that blow-off valve on. We're going to try this in a test run early season and see if it is. Do you need a
What size are those nuts?
And see if we need to make the change to a mixing tank. I'll find out the torque spec of these.
Yeah.
But I would get them down pretty tight.
Yeah, we want to crush that gasket in place, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if crush is the right word, but...
Yeah. For two dudes and one dredge, don't have a lot of experience turning wrench, it's probably a fine term to use.
Okay. That pump is just right in the wrong spot.
Sure.
For, like,
Absolutely.
torquing down a nut. Okay. That looks fine.
Oh yeah, he threaded that. I was like,
Threads right in.
yeah, that's what we're hoping.
Awesome. This is like by far our heaviest motor now, with the air pump, the water heater, all that does. But apparently it's important to do that so that the heat of the motor, because it's working a little harder pumping air, gets the water to a proper temperature.
Yeah, it's
easier.
just this engine is going to be running hotter than the other engine because it's working harder with this air system on it.
Gotcha.
So that's
a half. Lovely.
I've got this ratchet for that.
Ratchet's not gonna fit in that gap.
No, it's the small one in here.
Ugh.
Yeah, you're gonna be all right.
Okay, fine.
Yep. Now Brennan's a little, skeptical. I think is a fair
Skeptical's,
assessment.
I think, the right word for it.
Brennan's a man that likes to keep it
Look at
simple. Look at this. I'm doing it with my hands.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right then.
But yeah, I think that the argument's good. It's strong that, keep it simple and don't mess with something that's working. And
Yeah,
then,
I just think, to explain myself a little bit, I really like the dry suit. It's, you go in dry, you layer up underneath it. I run hot, so like I don't ever feel cold. The coldest I get dredging is when I'm getting out and I'm a little, wet around the head, wet around the hands, and the suit's coming off. Maybe some water trickles in, and the wind up there hits you just the wrong way, even on a nice summer day in July, and you get a little chilled because that water's barely above 32 year round. So it's not going to fit, I'm telling you. So I'm skeptical about switching and being constantly wet with a wetsuit and this hot water system. Because I worry that, sure, you'll be warm in the water, out of the water while you're cleaning up, and the motor's still idling along. But as soon as you shut off the motor,
it's not gonna fit.
oh, haha. As soon as you shut off the motor, get out of the water, take the hose out of your suit, and start getting changed, the wind will hit you, you're soaked through. Then you got to dry your under layers, you got to dry your underpants off, and I foresee that being a problem. Just my own maybe inexperience and skepticism showing there a little bit, but I'm happy to give it a try and see what comes up. So wetsuits are significantly cheaper than dry suits, so that's a big pull for at least giving it a shot.
Yeah, I think that and that's okay. We can have different opinions, and I mean I've dived a little bit,
Scuba
dove.
Sure. Yeah.
I've done the scuba
yeah.
a few times, and so I've got a little more experience.
This doesn't go on right here, does it?
It does. There's a picture right here. Here, look at it. He sends a color photograph with how it's all set up.
Gotta take this off so it'll actually like screw in place.
Yeah. Now that's a strainer to we need to tighten this too.
Okay.
That is a strainer, and he includes the clear strainer with the screen and the mesh. You need to check this every time you run the engine, between each shifts, each fill up of gas, and just make sure that there's no obstructions from what I understand. And obviously, Dan at DWX, he's got a YouTube channel. We'll link that, and you can see his specific instructions and how the system works there. Crack that housing.
I ain't cracking the housing. We want it pointed down, right?
We want it pointed here. Again, I'm just gonna say refer to the document with the picture.
It's a nice picture.
Yeah.
It's pointed down in the picture.
I mean, it's kind of pointed to the side, right? Like, yes, the housing, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, don't crack it.
That's tight.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not gonna be. That's gonna be okay.
Yeah, and then we are getting the water for this system right off of the Keen pump, right?
Right.
Okay.
Did we read the instructions? Should we have installed this first, or?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, he includes them for a reason.
Remove exhaust. Done. Bolt heat exchanger to exhaust. Done. Rotate support arm clamp. We did that. Bolt lower ends. I assume that's that. Tighten the bolt. Oh, we should clamp this down. He was right. Should clamp this down. That was 9/16.
Yeah. So here,
and this was 9/16.
there you go. You got that. I'm gonna go get the torch out of the pickup truck.
Sure.
To warm that bad boy up.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So we're getting excited. It's almost dredging season. The snow down here is starting to melt. Up in Fairbanks, it's been a little chilly, but this weekend apparently it's warming right up and things are starting to melt. So the summer activities are starting to be a lot more appealing. Heat exchanger firmly mounted to the engine.
Okay.
Strainer assembly onto the lower 1-inch nipple.
Yeah.
Got it.
Nailed it.
Yep. And insert black nylon barb fitting pump side port and align towards the heat exchanger. So that, align it towards the heat exchanger.
Right. Let's go ahead and put a couple of hose barbs on that.
We gotta take this off.
Come again?
We gotta take this off so it threads in.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
What size is that, you think?
Massive. Inch.
Bigger than that.
7/8. Do you have an inch?
No, but I've got,
Crescent?
no, I've got, channel locks though.
Okay, getting the channel locks. Hey guys, Brennan with a quick ad break. This video is not sponsored by anybody except for our lovely patrons and our merchandise shop. If you like the sweatshirt, if you want to win some gold in our gold coin giveaways, check it out, patreon.com/2d1d, or our merch website, 2dudes1dredge.com. Thanks. Back to the motor bolt-on video there.
A quick break in the video, I guess, where we run it.
Christ. more.
Person on a unicycle going riding by.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that checks out.
What is it, Portland? Oh, Christ.
Huh.
That thing's glued in place, man.
Okay. Well, let's
Yeah.
refer back to the... Yeah, it's definitely not in there.
On the picture?
That is correct.
Referred to the picture again?
I referred to the picture.
Okay. And there's not an adapter from this coarse pipe thread to this finer pipe thread?
No.
Uh-oh. Okay.
No, there is not, my friend.
All right. It is legitimately glued in place.
Yeah, I see that. I mean, it's silicone,
Yeah.
so it's there for leaks.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to torque the and
housing?
crack our pump, you know?
It's hard to imagine cracking the pump. I mean, the silicone.
Oh! She's moving!
Look at this guy.
We got it.
Yeah.
She's moving. Holy crap. That's always nerve-wracking.
Right.
Pumps are expensive, man. I didn't want to, like...
Yeah, absolutely.
shmoo
No, I
up-
remember when
shmoo up the threads or break anything.
what was that? My first trip up there with the dredge, I think, like the test out, the 6-inch dredge, and you know, I'm all excited. I get it up there, running it, got my son with me. And I didn't put the foot valve on tight enough. And so, you know, I'm running along and the foot valve comes off and the foot valve comes off and I don't realize it, and the suction pulls up gravel and sticks. And so I go over there and there's like, luckily a flat rock had come up the intake of the foot of the hose and just wedged itself, kind of blocking all the other rocks from being able to go into the impeller. But that was like the first trip with this dredge, and I was
Immediately lost it.
like, oh my god, did I seriously just like ruin the dredge?
Yeah. I think we're going to get better about, like, filming and including our mistakes this season with our videos, because we've kind of been a little embarrassed about it, being newer miners. That's led to some of the, like, funniest things that have ever happened, like running the 4-inch and putting some stuff down on one of the floats and then slipping and falling and knocking it all into the water, and I lost a foot valve in my mask and gloves, and they all went rushing downstream. And I was like, well, I can't dredge this weekend. What are we going to do? And like 20 minutes later, I decided to walk the creek. And I went walking down the creek. And like one by one, I started finding all of our stuff. Just like, oh, there's the foot valve stuck under a rock. And like, oh, there's my mask like on a tree branch or something like that.
The foot valve that I lost on this, like, we had a spare that we borrowed from a friend that was up in the same area. And so we ran the weekend with his, and we were just like, well, that foot valve is like gone, right? Like,
sure,
it's miles. It's in
the ocean.
It's in the ocean
It's in
at
the
that
Pacific.
point, right?
It's the Gulf of Alaska by now.
And so we,
anything about cutting down the
I don't know.
pipe?
I've got the big shears in there.
Yeah.
Anyhow, Brennan comes up the next weekend, and I'm up there ahead of him first.
Step 10, cut the supplied clear hose to length and install between pump and heat exchanger.
Short story, he finds the foot valve that we lost like a week or two before.
Yeah.
Just in the water.
2 foot valves, both gloves, and my dive mask, all in different places in the river eventually over the course of like a 10-minute walk down the creek.
You want to try to use these? These aren't going to open.
There's no ribbing to it, so I could probably knife through it, but... And we don't have to take that much off, is the thing.
Yeah, I mean, just, don't go too short.
Yeah.
Heat it up. Let's show them the old
The Andy Thrax trick?
Yeah. Shout out to Andy Thrax for just, changing our lives one video at a time.
Warm up your rubber pipes, and they'll go on everything easier. Maybe not that hot, but nice and squishy. So then it'll bend.
There you go.
In this gap, and
look at that.
Oh, beautiful!
I can't tell you how many times I've fought
that sucker on
with other, other hoses, other valves. Might have been a little bit hot, huh? Did kind of just.
Oh, oops! I guess it could have gone on the other way. We got it. Everything's under control.
What do you need, bud? Oh, you can just use the. Here, this. All right.
What size is that?
Probably quarters.
Teeny. Yeah.
So yeah, Andy Thrax, thank you for showing us the way. This is the way.
Yeah, heat the pipe.
Yeah, like for the
shove it on there. It's malleable and easier to get on and off.
For the intake that's like going into the jet log.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We have a hose that comes off of the jet log
a couple of times a season.
Yeah, like every 2 trips.
Yeah.
It wiggles its way loose and just blasts the hillside with like high pressure water.
Yeah.
And then we're like tired and trying to lift up the jet log and jam the hose back on there, and it just pops right loose again. We're gonna heat the heck out of that thing.
Yeah.
And make sure that never happens again. Bend. Just snip
you
it
need
there.
A mark?
It's just going right there.
Okay.
Like up to the elbow.
Yep.
Right there's the elbow.
In the second part of today's episode, rushing Brendan to
Going
the
to
hospital.
the hospital with a thumb injury, sure. Absolutely possible. Okay.
Yeah, you want to
gently blow towards the.
That's your sweater.
Oh, beautiful.
Okay, so I overshot it a little bit, huh?
Maybe a smidge. Oh, bend it. Oh, wait.
Hose clamp.
Hose clamp.
Wow.
Caught it.
Yeah.
Caught it. So you can't tell, we're no experts.
Right.
There's no shame in...
We're out of practice, we've been sitting around all winter and...
Yeah, no shame in giving your best shot at something and like making a few mistakes along the way. We haven't made any catastrophic errors thus far. So, oh, she's looking good. Did I grab the wrong size, or are these? Yeah, they're the same size. I just grabbed the wrong size.
Yeah.
Lovely.
What size is that?
5/16. Oh, it's a beautiful thing we've got going on here.
I'm saying. Just wait till I'm warm.
I'm happy to.
I'm standing there.
Withhold.
We're idling. We're cleaning up a ton of gold. I'm toasty warm. I've got tons of energy.
I'll withhold judgment until we, get it properly tested.
I'd like to say
it looks impressive.
Yeah.
It looks impressive. I'm happy with the build thus far. So.
I would like to say that I'm going to be the bigger man and humbly accept victory at that point.
Sure.
But the reality is I'm going to rub it in your face if it works out.
Yeah.
Because that's.
And I'll accept that in the future.
Right.
We will see how it goes.
Stay true to myself.
Yeah.
As a braggart.
Hose cooled down a little bit. Satisfied with shape and length. Secure it with hose clamps.
Okay.
And that's the end of the steps.
Okay. Well, we can put this up on the outflow valve.
And this is where the.
And then this.
this is where the hot water line goes to the suit eventually?
Yes,
Okay.
and I'm using an airline. You know, some guys want to run this like Flexzilla, super flexible airline. Yeah, I just saw it at the auto parts store actually, and we might give that a shot. An old timer, Johnny, he recommended an airline that he actually gave me because he's not dredging anymore, but we all know that, and that's what we'll try first.
7/8.
Yeah.
Huge.
Now, what I want to try to source is like a neoprene sleeve for that airline that's not going to carry air. It's going to be a water line.
Yeah, but
right?
to insulate that.
That's right. Find a neoprene sleeve, and the best I could find, I mean, maybe one of you guys out there can help, because the best I could find is on Amazon. They've got like a, you know, for camelback backpacks, the hydro.
Yeah.
So they make line insulators for those lines that are the same diameter, but they only come in like 3-foot sections.
Oh.
And that's going to get expensive if we're trying to go 20-25 feet.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find a neoprene sleeve to go over like a 3/8 airline.
Yeah. Does it have to be neoprene, or could it be like pool noodle foamy material?
Well, the problem I think we run into there is that it's going to add flotation to it and drag on the current of the river.
Oh, it's true.
So putting just a thin neoprene sleeve over to help with insulation, keep your water from cooling down as much as possible before it hits your suit.
Sure.
And then
Everything is different sizes. Oh my god.
And then we'll tape the airline to our regulator and the hot water line together, so that we've got just like less stuff going out in the river, getting caught on stuff.
Yeah. You got one big cord going upstream to the diver.
Yeah.
Everything's neat and tidy.
Yeah.
Not getting tangled up in rocks and branches and whatnot.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
Cool.
Now we've got a spare O-ring that he includes for the housing of the strainer.
Okay.
And his videos detail exactly how this works. I can give you, you know, kind of the short version, which is water comes in, it hits this strainer, and it gets, what did you call it? The turbulent.
Oh yeah. Water can. I have a science-ish background. Water can get into a flow regime called laminar flow, where it's all heading the same direction, and it would probably pass through the heat exchanger too quickly, so you want it to be as turbulent as possible, so it slows down, swirls around in here, and we have some flow control to like help slow the water down and heat it up right here on this knob. But it'll hit here, aerate and get turbulent, come in here, and then inside of these are
I think it's 20 or 24
like
stainless,
almost 24 dimpled and like stainless exhaust rods. They're hollow tubes where the hot exhaust is coming through, heating up the water around it, and then blowing out the top here, and the water gets hot and flows out here all the way up to the diver. So
rinse that muffler down, would you? I just hand tightened that.
oh, this
Yeah.
oh yeah, that'd fall right off. Perfect. Well, we should be out in Hope in a couple of weeks here, and
Probably not.
there's not a net on it.
Oh, that's not gonna work then.
Yeah. We should be out in Hope in a couple of weeks testing this thing out, and we'll have a proper review in due time. But in the meantime, thanks for watching. Go check out WDX's channel.
DWX.
DWX. I said DWX.
Did you?
Did I say DWX? We'll play it back in post here. Check out WDX's channel. DWX's channel.
Yeah.
The guy that makes these, he has better explanations than we do.
Yeah.
But despite my skepticism, I'm still excited to like see it in action, try it out, and see how it changes the dredging game for us in the future. So. Any
Yeah.
final
thanks.
thoughts?
No, I mean I'm excited for the season. I'm excited for this. I know, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're excited.
Yeah.
So
Cool. Well, thanks for watching our little motor upgrade and sticking around with us through the winter months. We'll be back on the rivers here pretty soon, hopefully dredging up some good gold. So stick around and subscribe if you haven't. Sharing the video always helps, liking the video always helps, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks.